With that down, let's do one more topic here today, shall we? This is kind of a spontaneous thing that's coming out of what I saw a lot of people in our live chat discussing and stuff like that. We're going to stick on the topic of Sonic 3. And there's a belief out there amongst some people that this movie is going to be a $1 billion film. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you to put that nonsense away. Sonic 3 is not going to be a $1 billion film. It can be wildly successful, it can be great, and all that kind of stuff. But if you even for a moment believe that this movie can be a $1 billion film, I really think you're purposefully sticking your fingers in your ears, closing your eyes and going, ma, 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 and ignoring all the data and all the facts in front of us. All right. I want to present to you 3 reasons. And I mentioned this actually in the John Campea Show newsletter a couple of weeks ago, but I'll bring it up again here. Number 1. Do you know how much the other 2 Sonic movies made? The first Sonic movie made a little over $300 million. Okay, it was the first one out and stuff like that, and that's not bad. Made a little over $300 million. Yeah, but it was a really good movie. So the second one did even better. You know how much the second one made?
Must have made like 800, right?
You would think.
Well,
no. The second Sonic movie, which was great, made a little over $400 million. I want to put this in context for you guys. If you take Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 and combine their box offices, you get about $730 million. Combined, 1 and 2. I also want to mention this. No third installment of a movie franchise has ever made more than 2.5 times at the box office what the second film did. Let me repeat that. Never in the history of the box office has the third film in a franchise made more than 2.5 times, almost 3 times the amount that the second film made at the box office. If Sonic 3 can make $500 million, that's remarkable. That is a huge win. What frustrates me when I see fans going, is it going to be a $1 billion film? Now you've set it up that if this movie does great and achieve amazing things and makes like $500 million at the box office, then you're setting other people going, well, wait a minute, that's disappointing. I thought I heard it was going to make $1 billion. That's because insane people said it would make $1 billion, not rational people looking at actual data.
it was Dr. Robotnik.
It was Dr. Robotnik trying to set it up to make it look like Sonic 3 is going to be a big disappointment. Oh, it only made $500 million. I heard it was going to make $1 billion. 500 is going to be awesome. That would $500 million at the box office, if it makes that, would represent a 20% jump from film 2 to film 3. That would be amazing. And if it goes even higher than that, that's wonderful. But make no mistake about it, guys. There is absolutely no logic behind the idea of thinking that after the first one made 300 and it was great, and the second one, which was also great, made 400, that all of a sudden nearly triple the amount of people are going to rush out to see Sonic 3. It has never happened in Hollywood history, and it won't happen. So there's that. The second point I want to make about that is this. Is that if you look at something like, the Deadpool movies, right? Deadpool, which just made $1.1 billion. $1.1 billion. But the last Deadpool movie made over right around $750 million. $750 million. So it made about a 30 to 40% jump. With a worldwide marketing campaign, with an internationally, globally beloved character, with previously big successful movies, the previous 2 Deadpool movies combined made about $1.5 billion. And that made a very impressive 30 to 40% jump, made $1.1 billion. That's great. Even if Sonic 3 can repeat that success, you're talking about a movie that will make about 600 million. And that's if it can repeat Deadpool's success. And that's a high bar.
Yeah, because they're looking at like 125% jump.
They're looking at needing like a close to 250% jump to get from 400 million to $1 billion. That's lunacy. It's lunacy to think that will happen. The third thing I want to point out, and we're going to stick with the Deadpool comparison. For Deadpool to make the jump that it made from 750 million to 1.1 billion, it needed a couple of massive factors. One massive factor was Deadpool now entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That was huge. That is a huge, big change. The second big major thing that happened, because it didn't have just one, it had two, was that Hugh Jackman, his own standalone star of his own successful, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, came in and joined with Deadpool. Going into the MCU, the addition of another A-list, high-level, popular comic book movie character, maybe one of the most popular of all time, coming in, and that equaled like a 30 to 40% jump. There is no such game-changing event happening in Sonic 3. John, Shadow's coming. Shadow's always been a Sonic character. You're bringing in literally a secondary character of the Sonic franchise. I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just saying it's not like, Chris, it's not like Mario was coming in and joining the movie. Like a Super Mario coming in to join the movie.
Nintendo and Sega together. Oh my goodness.
It's not like, so I would say this. If Sonic 3 had, let's say, Joel from The Last of Us and Super Mario coming in to join the movie, and it was joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there was a possibility that Captain America was going to pop up, then we could talk about Sonic 3 making 800 million, making that 30 to 40% jump. But there's nothing significantly game-changing happening in Sonic 3. And again, my concern is that people in advance are spoiling and ruining and poisoning the success that Sonic 3 can have by setting it up for disappointment. Because if Sonic 3 makes that 500, let's say $600 million, I don't want people out there shitting on it and going, oh, well, that underperformed. Should have done better. What are you talking about? That would represent a huge jump from film 2. So look, there is zero chance. It's never been done in Hollywood history that you've gone from a $300 million film in the first one to a $400 million film in the second one to $1 billion. Never happened, never gonna happen, and it's just completely unrealistic. Anyway, and again, I fear that you guys are setting up Sonic for failure, because if this movie makes $500 to $600 million, we should be popping bottles and throwing celebrations about Sonic franchise continuing its upward trajectory, and instead you are laying the groundwork for people to come in and try to crap on it. And that worries me. Anyway, Chris, you've seen all the data. Mm-hmm. You love this franchise.
I do. And I am certifiably insane. So
and you are certifiably insane.
I think it'll make a lot of money.
That cup she's drinking from is empty.
There's nothing in it. It's just
There's
air.
never been anything in it.
It's always just vodka. That's what it is.
If I were to ask you to play devil's advocate and say, make a case for why we should believe that Sonic 3 could be $1 billion film, what case would you make for it? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Gametime. My wife Ann and I love going to events, whether they're comedy shows, concerts, an LA Lakers game. I mean, just the other night we went to go see Ronnie Chang and it was awesome. We love having these new experiences and new memories. And our sponsor Gametime makes getting tickets for concerts and events faster and easier, even if you don't buy tickets right away. Because prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer you get to the show start time. With killer last minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Gametime Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying event tickets. I couldn't believe how easy and most importantly, intuitively, the entire app works. Finding the event I was looking for couldn't have been easier. The way it lays out the map of the venue, letting you know exactly where the seats are that you're looking for, and how easy the process was to choose and buy those tickets. So don't worry if you think you're too late to get tickets to that big event you and your friend want to go to. They have last minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever. So guys, take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code CAMPEA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CAMPEA, CAMPEA, for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
My biggest is that we don't have a lot of competition for it, honestly, when it's coming out. It's up against Mufasa, which, why?
That movie's going to make over $700 million.
I don't understand why it would.
But it will.
Because it has real life lions talking.
Real life talking. Again, I don't think Mufasa's going to make.
Their union. That's how they get.
There
it.
are still people who think that movie's going to make $1 billion, and I don't agree with that at all.
To me.
But it's going to be a $700 million film.
I don't know if we're looking at this too, though, of the small children who are going to go see a movie. I don't know if they're like dying to see Mufasa. I just don't know if that's their thing. The nostalgia thing, every other millennial I talk to who is a Disney obsessed, like Disney adult, is they're making a Mufasa movie? Why? I don't know who this movie is made for. Chat, please go off and let me know if you're excited about it. But yeah, oh my gosh, we learned that Mufasa becomes king. Oh no, that's crazy. Guess what? He's also going to have a real bad time with some wildebeests. Like, I don't understand the purpose of this prequel and what it's supposed to teach me. Other than that, there's a whole bunch of horror movies coming around December. The Lord of the Rings War of Rohirrim, which again, I don't think that's really going to split viewership.
That's the week before anyway. And you got Kraven the Hunter along with it.
Which has had so many problems getting made. We also have Night Bitch. Don't think that's going to really take a lot of people going to that.
What's this one you're talking about?
Night Bitch is a rated R film that tells the story of a woman thrown into a stay-at-home routine of raising a toddler in the suburbs who slowly embraces the feral power deeply rooted in motherhood as she becomes increasingly aware of the bizarre and undeniable signs that she may be turning into a canine. It's with Amy Adams, which is the most surprising part of that
the
entire
whole time
thing.
With one of the greatest movie titles ever.
Night Bitch.
The entire time.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, just the entire time I was like, oh, Amy Adams is maybe good. And then you were like, that last line, I'm like,
Yep.
okay.
Interesting.
Again, I see people thinking that Sonic is going to make more than Mufasa.
Werewolves.
That is straight up laughable to me.
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
Sonic will make more than Mufasa.
I don't.
No.
Neck and neck.
Why would you go see that movie?
Neck and neck.
First
Don't
of
stop
all,
being so angry.
Today we have one of the greatest filmmakers today making this movie. Barry Jenkins has written and is directing this movie.
They're gonna hit people with the feels so heavy over
like,
the head.
Again, for anybody who
trailers.
doesn't it's like, why do I know that name, Barry Jenkins? He's the guy who directed the Academy Award Best Picture winning Moonlight. And he is and at CinemaCon, he gave this passionate speech about how his whole world is Lion King. He grew up with Lion King. It's his whole
so it's made
world.
for him by him. That's nice.
Made
Good
for
for
him by
Barry.
him, but that's what Scorsese does. That's what.
And he's had a great time at the box office.
Well, he's won a lot of awards. He's made great movies.
Sure. He hasn't
I'm
made a
just
lot of
saying
money
that
recently.
the last one made $1 billion. The last one made close to 1.2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, which by the way, I don't think they should make this movie either. I'm on that train. I don't think they should make this movie. But there is no logic to thinking this movie is going to make under $700 million. Again, it's not going to be anywhere near. It's going to come in like 400 million less than what Lion King did. But even at 400 million less than what Lion King did, you're still talking $700 million.
I think you've got,
and there's no way that Sonic makes that
I think
much
you've got
money.
$550 for Sonic, and I'm thinking $750 for Mufasa, which is 200 to 250, maybe, range. But
I mean, sure. And again, I'm the one playing devil's advocate here. I love that the chat right now too is like, why does Chris hate the Lion King? I just don't see why this movie.
No, I don't see the point of making the movie either. No, and we love Lion King.
Guys, I'm not a Sith. I don't speak in absolutes, okay? I just am like, why is this being made? That doesn't make sense to me. We know he becomes king. I don't need to know the hierarchy of the savannah. I don't need to know, like, did he pull a sword from a stone? No.
But you know what? families are going to go to this in droves.
I
Yeah.
guess.
The parents are going to take their kids. They're going to go in droves. The kids are going to ask to go see it again and again and again, like kids always do with movies that shouldn't get that much business.
I'm going to see Night Bitch.
I'm
With
going to
the
go see
kids.
Night
I'm,
Bitch.
I'm sick.
Screw y'all. I'm going to see
I'm
Craven.
bitch.
I'm going to go see Craven.
Yeah, John's going. He's going to Craven. So.
It'll be me alone in the theater, the Craven theater, waving my little
Just know
Craven
too many
flag.
At the
people
end of the
who have
year,
been
I'm just
told
gonna
to
be
punch up
like-
that script after we saw it at CinemaCon.
Yeah, at the end of the year, I'm just gonna be. They were all wrong. They should have seen Nosferatu.
They should have gone to Night Bitch.
So yeah, again, so bottom line for me, I think Sonic 3 is going to be an unmitigated success. I think it will continue the upward trend of the franchise. I think the previous successes will make it build on that one, and we see a very healthy 20, 25, maybe even a 30% increase. But that means 500 to maybe at best $600 million. Again, guys, just remember this. Never in history has the third film in a franchise made nearly triple what the second film of the franchise did. Hasn't happened, isn't going to happen. If Sonic 3 was going to have a chance to make $1 billion, I think Sonic 2 would have had to have made $700 million. It would have had to have made that much of a jump so that the next one can make that much of a jump. Now, I've seen some people say, well, Sonic 2 would have made more money if it didn't come out in 2022. The problem with that logic is that Spider-Man No Way Home came out before it, and Spider-Man No Way Home made almost $2 billion. So you can't say nobody was going to see the movies in that period of time. Certainly not the difference between $400 million at the box office and $700 million. So again, and I'm sitting here cheering for Sonic 3. I think it's going to be great, and I just want everybody to tone it down, because when this movie makes $500 million, we should be celebrating it and not going, oh, why didn't it make $1 billion? Why didn't Sonic 3 make $1 billion? Because
Well,
it was
that's-
never going to make $1 billion.
That's every movie right now. Everyone
it's true.
constantly does the,
Yep.
well, it flopped, right? Because it didn't hit $1 billion. That's not the norm.
So ridiculous.
It's not the norm at all.
I will say, as we've been talking about this, it's like my final thought on this is, it's not about anyone's box office. It's that we're headed for a lot of good entertainment through the end of this
Oh,
year.
heck yeah.
And I think there's gonna be a lot of fun to be had at the theaters coming soon.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? What do you think the upper end for Sonic 3 can be? And by the way, it'll adjust. Like I'm going to change my prediction of it making 500 if I see the movie and I think it's terrible. I'm just assuming it's going to be great because I think the other two have been great. But what do you think the ceiling is for a Sonic 3 at the box office, considering the first one made 300, the second one made 400? Where do you think is a realistic goal for that? Maybe you think it's 400 again. Maybe you think it's 500. Maybe you think it's 600. Maybe you're one of those crazy people that think it's going to be $1 billion. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.